I kind of like to write, but we also need to publish. So as you heard about some of my writing history I also wrote USC publications and do a lot of editing at university and outside university. And EADPA, they publish their journal in Spanish, French, English across the Caribbean, but largely the article side with their youth issues. And then I've also done short story for Moko Magazine and some of the other Caribbean journals. So writing is a hobby I enjoy. So the truth is, librarianship is my profession, writing is my professional hobby, and counseling, encouraging, and nurturing youth is really my calling. So these projects I do, I have sort of merged all three into it and run with it. So that's why I tend to find the time to write, because I like it. And the audience, as Cheryl said, your audience is very important. But here's what I found, a disclaimer. I wrote these novels for young adults, for youth, because I deal with them and their issues all the time. I just brought in a few. It was published abroad by Lifegate Publishing, so it's really marketed in the United States. So whatever copies I have locally would be copies I buy and bring in for persons who still don't want to go on Amazon, or they just want to get it from me or from the local bookstores. So I do that separately. What was amazing to me was the demand for the first novel, where all the novels were sold out within about 2 weeks of the launch, and I had to be bringing in. So I looked at the audience that was buying it. Can you imagine? Some people over 60 and over 70. The greatest was one over 80. Reading it, I say, only give the woman that book to read, she might get a heart attack. And not only that, asking for the other book. So that taught me that sometimes when you think you are choosing your audience, word spreads and your audience end up choosing you, right? So I also learned that in the writing process. So I have been constantly called upon in terms of writing in schools, because I do talk to young people in the various schools, primary, secondary, and tertiary level, in the community, and of course at church. University of the Southern Caribbean is a Seventh-day Adventist institution. So yes, Eric is smiling, because of course that's why the publisher looked at me, because he said, church girls not supposed to know about love and passion, right? So it's like, that's why people say you have alter ego, they up and down, they're supposed to be pristine and straight. What you know about passion? I say passion is a human thing, and church girls are human too, you know what I mean? You just have to know how to deal with it. So, and a lot of times people call me in church, in community, outside. And when they call me to talk to young people, the first thing they want me to talk to them about is sexual behavior, their sexuality, peer pressure, who not dealing, who have issues at home, who dealing with abortion. So dealing with these issues, I said, you know what, I have to find a creative way to get these issues in a channel, because they're not reading. But once they see romance, they come in behind it. Of course, it also made the church look at you, because here am I sort of breaking the ceiling as not just a Christian, but a conservative Christian writing about sex and love. And I write about it, you understand? I didn't say, those of you who know the Bible, any church people here, Adam knew Eve. I didn't say Adam knew Eve. I tell how he found her out. You know what I mean? So, those are things that could get you not in trouble, but all within context. Eric is putting on his jacket now. You should be taking it off. All right. So the short story, that's how I realized that people would sit at you, but you see faces. I always tell people that your face doesn't fool me. So I started it off as a short story, the No Guarantee, at 20 pages. And after the 20 page, the girl told the fella, no, I ain't giving up my singleness for you. I'm not risking it, singleness is something you can enjoy. How many single people here? I intended to be single forever, but singleness is something you enjoy. So the girl told him, no way, I can't risk my singleness, and people say you can't do that. Bring them together. I said, but people don't always come together in life. So I realized that we live in a pretty romantic society. Regardless of what face people show you, they want a happy ending. So I struggled with that for another 3 years to bring them together. You see how long I took, right? Them days are single and enjoying singleness, you know, me bringing nobody together. So, so in 1995, I brought them together with another 20 pages. It was a struggle. So when I brought them together, they said, yes. I said, good, so you have the shorts. So you let them know we want more. I said, only pushing it now, they're together. And then I realized that people really are in relationships, especially young people, but they really don't know how to progress in a relationship. And especially young people these days, you talk to them, because I talk to them about relationships. I talk to them about every single thing, brass tacks, right? And one young person actually turned to me and said, and I'm talking about a young person who is 20, approaching 20, between 18 and 23, and said, what are you supposed to do if you now meet somebody? Talk? If they have nothing else. You understand what I'm saying? So they are prepared to go beyond talk at the get-go, because that is what they are seeing in the society. So they really don't know what to, so you're wondering, why is there divorce? Why is there? Because people don't know how to communicate. People don't know how to build a relationship. So I decided I'm going to write for these young people who really don't know how. They see slam bam, they run into each other, they sweat a little bit, hormones thing, and they're in a relationship, and then they realize after the sweat, I ain't really like nothing about you but the sweating, you know what I mean? So I really went through the slope. Sorry, I'm talking to you as if I'm talking to the young people, but that's how I speak to them, I guess. Writing stuff, because Cheryl told you to write stuff, but you write it, you put it in a file, and you put it away. So that was me over the years. I write scripts, I also do drama, so I do scripts that are performed all over. When I was in Mona, the scripts were performed in Trinidad here. I write scripts to the drama group, I write poems, I write stuff, and I write everything and just put it away. Just put it there. So there comes a point in time when you have to go to the cupboard and pull it out. But you know, you always say, Cheryl, one day I'll publish, one day I'll publish. But when you get bogged down in life and a career you love, you always say, I'll do it. So people kept asking, have you published? I plan to. And then this publisher bumped into me. And he said, send me this stuff. Now there comes a point, a time in a writer, when you give your stuff, you bury yourself to the public, you know what I mean? I wasn't sure I was ready for that. I mean, I write, I find my stuff sounding good. And the people who read it say it's sounding good. But when you put it out there, then people say, what crap they publish in here. They're afraid to tell you it's not good, you know, because they are your friends and they don't want to lose your friendship. So the minute you let something go, you open yourself up to and a lot of writers are afraid of that. So when I sent it to him, he said, "Nan, this is good, you're a silent storm." I said, he just saying that because he probably, you know, wants looking for his Christian romance in the West Indies. There isn't much on that, if any. So he wants to run with his new thing, so he's just taking it. So halfway through, I sent it to him and he said, we're going with it. Halfway through, I call him back and I say, stop. He says, stop, why? I said, not yet. It ain't done yet. So there is another thing in writing, you don't know when to let go. Yeah, it done. I said, not done yet. He said, why it not done? I said, it has to go to my professor. How many of you know Dr. Morgan, Paula Morgan, Yui? Very critical. So I say, except she say, okay, it's not going, right? Now I have to prepare myself it, so that's why Cheryl said, send it to a colleague in the area. If you are writing, you do have a colleague in the area. Some persons will have literary agents or solicitors. The author. So when you write and you throw that book out, you have to be prepared for the audience to put their perception on it and run with it. So I'll just read you one little section because Cheryl, so this is from the first one, no guarantee, right? It would be wrong of me. I have a steam you and coming in the second one, Eric. So you're in the right place there below the AC. I'll tell you when you can. Okay, so this is page 10 of No Guarantee. This is the cynic. So this is Darcy the cynic. Love was a figment of imagination, a fact underscored by the realities of life. One didn't have to look far to see the evidence. Broken relationships and marriages lay strewn around her, the remnant of battles fought, painful witnesses to cement her firm belief that love did not exist except in the movies and in books. Marriage shattered the fantasy. She was quite contented with her occasional fantasizing on love. A bell sounded. She pulled aside the drapes to see a tall, dark, muscular, approaching middle-aged man approach, standing by her gate. She sighed heavily. Her nose flared. Reluctantly, she poked her head outside without fully opening the door, intending to dismiss him from behind the stolid barrier. And then I jumped a little part and said here, right. He was attractive enough, and he was well built, but she was neither attracted nor interested in anything more than the salvation of his soul. She could not respond to him on an emotional level. 28 and never been in love. She lived a busy life. She loved the excitement. She did not intend being tied down by commitment to him or any other man and endanger her free, single, carefree lifestyle. Popular opinion was that her expectations were too high, her cynicism and personality too strong. She was not prepared to concede any. He bent his head in resignation against the gate. Silence reigned. She stared beyond him at the twinkling lights ring in the distant hill. Soft voices fluted from somewhere up the hill, one of the several sprawling homes with a fantastic view of the valley. He shifted before turning around. She watched him get into his car and limply lifted her hand and responded to the toot of his horn. Rubbing the palms on her forehead wearily, she went to the kitchen and poured herself a glass of cold water. Hopefully, he finally got the message that she was not interested in him. Unfortunately, her single status was interpreted to mean available and desperate. That she was in her late 20s solidified the misconception that a fast-ticking biological clock fueled that desperation and made her an easy prey for tying the knot. The attention was angering her instead of breaking down her studied walls. How do you break down a character like this and fall in love? Uncontrollable Flame. This was, while you see this started in 1990 whatever and went it. This was 6 months, right? So no two books are the same. How was this 6 months? I was in the middle of the other one that is being published next year. When the muse for this one came and interrupted that muse. So I put that one down, and then persons were demanding this character because this is Darcy's best friend. So people wanted to know about her. So since the muse came, I wrote that one. I also wrote that one because of audience demands again. There were some young people saying, I ain't nothing like she. I don't see how she could see attractive specimens and want to be single. But there were some people who say, yes, I could understand that. So you see how mixed your audiences are. So I decided to write a novel now for the audience that has problem controlling passion. Because I'm saying, me, from the time I see that, I drop dead. That's the young people talking to me. So I decided, okay, let me see if I can address that audience with a different plot. So this talks about instant passion and wrong choices based on feeling. We live in a highly sexual society, we know that. And you know, persons have said, you sure this is a Christian novel? I say, yes it is, because Christian people might just hide in the closet and then walk to church with a Bible in their hand. But you didn't know what they do last night. And then they come, shrieve me, Father, shrieve me. Right? So everybody have hormones, don't fool me. I remember sitting in church once as a young girl. This senior lady come up and said, me, I don't feel that. I don't have such passion. Everybody turned up and said, sit down and keep quiet. You know, she was acting like she not feeling anything, right? So how does a young person manage sexuality? How can desire redefine your values and make you make choices you didn't intend to make? This is what it says. So I'll read page 83 for you to give you a little idea. That's not the hottest part, Eric. The last part is the hottest part. Some young people from church, I guess they're good young people, they came to me and said, Petra, we're single. You should have warned us. I said, that's why I come to the end. And when you get married, you could try it, all right? Page 83. I promote chastity, I should tell you, right? Okay, page 83. So page 83 says, this is when she is meeting him, and this is at her friend's wedding, and the persona in this book is the guy's brother came for the wedding. So when he came for the wedding, instantly attraction, you know, those sort of instant, you know, some people can meet and get married in 3 months, some people had to wait 3 years, they would slam into sparks fly, instant attraction kind of thing. So this is just when this couple is about to leave to go on their honeymoon and the friend is there. A few couples were now dancing in the dimly lit area set aside. He left his brother's side, he approached her, still seated faithfully at Darcy's side. So he is by his brother, she's by her best friend. By the way, she's the one who pushed the best friend into the relationship, right? He bent to her and asked her softly, do you have an aversion to dancing? I want to dance with you again. He was so frank. Throwing caution to the wind, Shannon allowed him to lead her to the dance floor. He would be gone in a few days anyway. She probably would never see him again. This could be their last meeting, their last dance. She would cut all ties with Timmy. If you read the back of the book, you would realize that having joined the shade, she felt that attraction had nothing to do with spirituality. So she got involved with a fellow who stood nothing in her. And she said that was safe, that was Christian. So she felt absolutely nothing for Timmy and felt that because she felt nothing for him, that was understanding. Some people take Christianity like that. Don't think so, eh? You gotta be attracted to the person you marry, except you're real good. Alright, so live with somebody you're not attracted to the rest of your life. The attraction must build at some point. If it's not there yet, I can tell you some stuff to stay, right? So, very good to go. She would probably never see him again if his plans did not materialize. This could be their last meeting, their last dance. She would cut all ties with him after he left. Phil didn't have to know that's the guy's name. It had nothing to do with him. It was just the trigger. Although she decried the importance of physical attraction in a relationship, what transpired with Phil and Phil over the past few years was seriously confusing her. Her heart shrunk, her body warm, one in Bell's stool. She ignored them and slid arms around Phil as he was slender for me and tightly sobered her. This was probably the 90% Darcy I've been speaking about. The 90% is Darcy turning her. Timmy is about 60 or below 60%. What you doing with him? And she said, everybody know they are 100%, so Darcy told her, at least get 85 now. You will spend the rest of your life with 60%? The stress. So she is now feeling, probably this is the 90% Darcy told her about. Being with Phil felt so right, it scared her. But wasn't it only physical? Wasn't she treading in dangerous waters? Should she flee this growing temptation? Flames licked at each other as she battled. The flame of her faith for the fire of passion which was enrolled in her rigid stance. The fiery passion melted them. Just for tonight, Darcy's wedding night, she would let her guard down and give in to the moment. No more. You have to get the book for yourself, right? So you have to decide if she let down the guard or not. Because the book is really about flame of passion fighting flame of faith. And every human being has to deal with that if they have a moral stance. So, as I wrap up, I want to share with you, as I said, all age groups have read it, even though it's written for young adults. The audience chose me. Why do I think each librarian, I just walked with 10 copies. I think each librarian should get a copy for the library, especially for the young people. Because most people who have read it said, we started reading it and can't put it on. That has been the reviews, and the reviews is on the website. You can see, we can't put it on. You can never tell where it is swinging. One person finished reading it, heading home from the book launch, and then read it again. That's this one, and the feedback from No Guarantee was also very positive. So that it means the young people would read it, enjoy it, but still get some positive values. Just to add to some tips, because I really was to go first, then Cheryl, so I was going to give some tips and then Cheryl, but it worked out all well the same way. Just to emphasize what Cheryl said, if you want to write, because you need to publish or perish, but quite apart, make sure it's a niche that you like, so that you could sit down and enjoy your writing. Let your writing be cathartic. Let it release something. Don't see writing as a chore. Writing for me is a hobby, so I can't understand how people don't like writing. Choose your area, choose your genre, whether it's romance, fiction, drama, non-fiction, flex. Choose your audience, but of course sometimes the audience will choose you, but you have to choose your audience. As I said, I thought I was writing for young adults until a lot of senior people that were asking for the books and older persons. If you get a muse, now this one is the most serious one, that's why Cheryl said, write. You get an idea. Have you ever gotten an idea and say, I will return to this idea? It never comes back. Walk around with paper, pen. I used to be writing on grocery bill and stuff until the phone come out. I used to sleep with pen and paper below my pillow because sometime in the middle of the night you wake up with it. And you say, when I get up, when you get up, that go on. Interrupt your sleep and write. Whenever you get an idea and the words flowing nice. I run out the bathroom, the story in Moko magazine. I won the creative writing prize for that when I was undergrad in UWI. That muse come for that story so strong between me and her. I run out that bathroom wet and naked, rough a towel, write the story and went back and finish me. And it won a prize, you understand? Now, don't you know some people say if my work good, why they asking for that? They should want this. The publisher ain't interested in what you have to write. The publisher is interested in their market and what they want and what they sell. So there are some people who say this publisher ain't publishing this, but I think they need this. They never get a response. Of course not, they throw away that, right? So you must follow the publisher's guideline, the submission guidelines. If that publisher isn't in your area, find a publisher that is in your area. They're not going to bend for you. It's about marketing. Be open to having your work ripped apart. All authors went through that. You would think you write a perfect sentence, and somebody will come up and say, after the sentence, it not making sense. And you feel crushed at writing again. That's part of the material writing process. You have to write it over. Get an endorser, as I said, a solicitor, a literary agent, have peer reviewers, have a pool of people who would read for you. And of course, finally, know when to let it go. And remember, when you let it go, it's no longer yours. But always invite the audience to give feedback, even though the feedback is negative. If it's negative, use it for the next project. But be open, and of course, go with it and have a room. Sometimes when the muse come, I tell my husband, yeah, the muse, when you see me set up a bed in the middle of the night, yeah, the muse, yeah, keep, well, I won't call my son because he tell me I like to make him out. So I say, keep him from me. The muse friend, and he just shake his head, watch me and laugh. I go in a room and write until that muse is done. Right? So you can do it. We all colleagues and you in the field, you know the importance of work. I challenge you. Get persons around you, just get pen and paper and start to write. You never know where it will take you.